we're really close to the end. I've had an amazing time, so challenging, but we press on. So today's topic is seeking wisdom and discernment. I don't know about you. Have you ever been with your child and they've said please and thank yous? They've been so polite. They do everything correct, and then when you're not there, it's like everything went out the window. When you're not there, they don't seem to make the right choices all the time. Now, we don't want this for our children. So today we're praying that God will give them wisdom and discernment, that God will help them to make the right choices, whether you're there or you're not there. See, we want them to be able to make the right choices in friends, the people who they associate with and work with, the people who they go places with. We want them to make the right choices in saying no to certain things that they know they shouldn't be doing, not playing in dangerous places, I don't know, jumping over fires, playing on the railway track. We want them to make these right choices, to have wisdom, to have discernment. Even from a young age, it's not too young for us to start praying this for our children. We're not always going to be there. We're not always going to be holding their hand. We're not always going to be able to hover, hover parents. We're not always going to be able to hover. However, God will send his Holy Spirit to speak to them directly. And the Holy Spirit can be with them anywhere, anytime, any place. So we need to ask God that he will send his Holy Spirit to our children, and that our children will be quieted enough to be able to hear the Holy Spirit speaking, and that they personally will ask for wisdom and discernment in the decisions that they make. I don't personally believe in coincidences. I don't know if you've ever had the times when you were meant to turn left, you decided not to turn left. Something told you not to turn left, the Holy Spirit, so you turn right to then find out that there was an accident down that road. Now, who's to say that that couldn't have been you in the accident? You never know. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe when the Holy Spirit speaks to us and we listen, it's for our purpose. Now, that's one of the beautiful things about being in heaven. And I personally can't wait to ask my guardian angel, when I was late for work and then I tripped over and then I was going to turn left and I didn't turn left because something told me to turn right and I didn't turn right. What was going on? And my guardian angel was like, well, at that time, I'll have you know, there was a 5-power accident and God didn't want you to be in that. So he took you this way. You listened. We need to be able to listen to God's voice, and we need our children to be able to stop and listen to God's voice as well. We need them to be able to ask God for wisdom in making certain choices and decisions before they do it, to think before they do it, to think before they speak. And God's able to do that. He's able to answer their cries for wisdom. I believe it's in James where he says, if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask, and God will give it to him freely. He wants to give us wisdom. He wants to give our children wisdom, but they need to ask. And it's okay for us to also ask on their behalf and encourage them and teach them to ask God. And that's not just with day-to-day things, but with their schoolwork or university work. If they have a problem at work, their job, it's important for them to get into the habit now of going to God for wisdom and going to God for discernment and going to God for these answers in any part of their lives. Sometimes we put God in a box and we only take him out when we go to church or when something bad happened. We don't make God an every part. We don't make God or include God in every part of our lives. So when schoolwork is difficult, there's nothing wrong with sending up a prayer and asking God, Lord, I'm not understanding this right now. What is the answer? How do I do this? Which is the best way to go? I want to go to university. Which university is the best university for me to go to? These are huge decisions that they will have to make, and we can't always make those decisions for them. Most of the decisions we can't make for them. Who are they going to marry? But God can help them to make the best decision. They just need to ask. And us as parents, need to teach them to go to God first and ask God first. And He will give them the answer. He will give them the wisdom. And He will give them the discernment that they need. There's a quote. It says, the old proverb that says, a wise man makes a glad father, but a foolish son. The old proverb that says, a wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish son is the grief of his mother. Proverbs 10 verse 1. Is completely accurate. No one can be prouder than dad when his son makes a wise decision. But when a child acts without wisdom, no one grieves more deeply than a mother. Proverbs also says, if we cry out for discernment and seek it like a hidden treasure, we will find all the knowledge of God. Proverbs 2, 3-5. I believe that's all the knowledge, wisdom and discernment we could possibly need. So today, we as parents, carers, aunties, uncles, grandparents, godparents, we are crying out to God for them to save our children and to save ourselves from grief as well. Because when we cry and we ask God, He will answer us. So today's task is, I want you to just really sit back and think and look and observe how your child makes choices. Are they quick to make a decision but they have no thought behind it? Or are they the type of person who actually thinks about what they do before they do it? Are they super careful and they don't make any decisions, because that's just as detrimental as making quick decisions? And when you have figured out how your child makes that decision, then you can best pray for your child in this area. You could be more specific in your prayers. So if your child is quick to run into things without thinking, you can pray that God will help them to stop, pray, think, then act. And likewise, if they never make a decision and they're very indecisive, that God can help them to make decisions, and that they don't need to be afraid to make decisions. They just need to go to God first for His advice and the answers to certain decisions or certain choices that they have to make. So we're going to pray. Lord, I pray you would give the gifts of wisdom, discernment and revelation to my child. Help them to trust you with all their heart, not depending on their own understanding, but acknowledging you in all their ways, so that they may hear your clear direction as to which path to take. Proverbs 3, 5-6. Help them to discern good from evil and be sensitive to the voice of the Holy Spirit, saying, this is the way, walk in it. Isaiah 30:21. I know that much of their happiness in life depends on gaining wisdom and discernment, which your word says brings long life, wealth, recognition, protection, enjoyment, contentment, and happiness. I want all those things for them, but I want them to come as blessings from you. Your word says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Proverbs 9 verse 10. May a healthy fear and knowledge of you be the foundation upon which wisdom and discernment are established in them. May they turn to you for all decisions, so that they don't make poor choices. Help them to see that all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge are hidden in you, and you give of them freely when we ask for them. As they seek wisdom and discernment from you, Lord, pour it liberally upon them, so that all their paths will be peace and life. In Jesus' name, I pray. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We have 2 more days left, just 2 more days. Have a wonderful day today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.